looks like, because I did have some people reach out the last time we were mentioning this, that they weren't sure about what it is, what it means, what it looks like. So we're going to kind of go over that. We're going to talk about review management a little bit and the importance of why reviews are going to be so important to have as part of your Google My Business page as well.
Fantastic. You want to launch into it, Frank?
Absolutely. Yeah, if you guys are ready. So like I just said, guys, this isn't really a class that's going to teach you right now how to create the pages and everything like that. The main thing we're going to be going over today is basically, again, what it is, what a Google My Business page looks like, and the importance of filling out everything, and then also that review management. So with that, I will do a screen share. And let me know if you guys can see my screen, please.
Yes, we can.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so here's a perfect example. We're going to go ahead. I got Brian's permission to go ahead and use New Life Financial Alliance as an example this morning. So in the in your Google header, if you're going to type in a name of a company that you're specifically looking for to do some research on them, you go ahead up in the top of the screen up here, you type in the company name, and if they've got a Google My Business page created, this over here to the side is what it looks like. This is your Google My Business page off to the right-hand side. Now, what you're looking at here, you're going to see a couple of things on this site, what you're looking at this morning, that you may not see on other sites, not your site, but on other sites. The reason why we're seeing a couple of extra things on this one is because I'm an administrator on this account. So it's going to show me a few extra things on here that you normally wouldn't see on most Google My Business pages. But over here on the right-hand side, again, this is your GMB page. What it shows you is access to the website directions and things of that nature. It shows you the reviews right below it, how many reviews you have, where they're out of, if they're based, if they have, you know, a city based on there. As you scroll down, this is where it's important, it's an imperative that you fill out all your information on your Google My Business page, because it talks here about online appointments. It has the address if need be, the hours of operations, a contact phone number, which is a clickable link. So if somebody's on their cell phone and they're seeing this business, they could very easily click on this link and call that business up directly. Right below it, Brian has the ability to put in an appointment. So in here, to make it convenient for a client, if they wanted to make an appointment to meet with him, they can click on this link and go directly to his contact page. Now, you may ask and say, well, when I created my page, it doesn't show up. Unfortunately, that's a service that Google either provides or doesn't provide based upon what service you put your category into, whatever your business category is. Some categories they'll allow this, other categories they won't. So it's totally up to Google when it comes to the appointment section. And then as you scroll down even further, this is where your posts are gonna pop up as you're posting to Google, just like you would post to social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, of things like that. These are where your posts are going to pop up. Down here is your questions. Now, this is another untouched area in a lot of businesses. They don't get questions posted, and this is a good way to have a call to action, have things like that. Have a question posted, have an answer selected, and that's going to be very beneficial for you as well. Again, reviews on other platforms are going to show up here, Facebook, Yelp, and things of that nature. And then this section right here, this is where Google gives you 750 characters to give a brief overview of who you are and what your company is about. So again, make sure you utilize this space to the best of its ability when you're doing that. On the left-hand side over here, if you notice, okay, when you're typing in and you're searching for the company name, you're going to see what's in first position. Now, in this case, obviously, the website's in first position. As you scroll down, now we talk about other sites like LinkedIn. The LinkedIn page for Ellen is in second position with Brian in third, the Facebook page and things of that nature, and then Instagram. Now, you hear Brian talking a lot about getting traffic on My Epic Network. The reason why is because these platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, and whatnot, are so powerful, they're showing up in top positions for the company name. We eventually want to get My Epic Network in here mixed in with these Facebook and LinkedIn accounts, as well as showing up as being a very popular site, which it will over time. We're going to get there over time. As you scroll down, these last two, for example, Nice Local, and opencorporates.com. These are referred to as business listings or citations. Now, it's crucial, it's imperative that when you create your Google My Business page and you've optimized it, that now you tell the world about your site. It's not just about Google. You want to have your information across the web. And so these are referred to as business listings and citations. You may or may not have ever heard of these companies, but obviously they've heard of you. So it's like I said, it's important that your information that you create on your Google My Business page are on these listings and citations, because they will show up and your client may find you on one of these listings and citations. So like I said, it's important that you're doing that as well. Now, I want to give you an example over here. I pulled up just to give you an example of something else that's maybe not as good. Pool services near me. Now I'm in Fort Lauderdale. I typed this in here, and this is referred to as the Google 3-pack right here. I'm sure most of you have seen this before when you're doing your searches as well. So in this case, you have iPools, you have Blue Magic, and you have this Hollywood pool service. Now, what I found interesting about this was this Hollywood pool service, for example, it says it's been in business for over 10 years. But if you notice, there's not a lot of information on here. There's no reviews, there's no website, there's no directions, whatever the case might be. It's very limited. The contact phone number is not highlighted or anything. It doesn't look clean as compared to the other ones. And let's go to their Google My Business page. And this is the reason why right here. They didn't take the time in the last 10 years to fill out their GMB page properly. So again, this is why it's important that you take the time to fill out this information over here. The other thing, and this is another thing that again, most small businesses don't realize, is if you notice down here where it says suggest an edit or own this business, you can suggest an edit for a company and say their hours of operation are different than what's on here. A phone number is different than what's on here. Things of that nature. Maybe they're in different fields of business than what's on here. They can suggest an edit. Google will take that suggestion and email the business owner for that GMB page and say, hey, we've got an edit for you here. Is this correct or not correct? And you have to go in and answer it. If you don't answer it in a timely fashion, there's a good chance that Google will put that on your GMB page. So with that said, you have to be aware of what possibly people could be putting on your GMB page. And this is why you should be logging into your account at least every 2 weeks to at least once a month. Log into your GMB page and make sure that all the information is on there is current. It's key that you make sure, because you don't want false information. You don't want a wrong phone number by chance, or wrong contact information. So make sure you're filling that out completely and you're staying on top of it on a regular basis. Now, when you log in and you've created your Google My Business page, this is what the back end of your Google My Business page looks like. And so over here to the left side, you have your menu system, and you have your home, your posted info, and everything like that. And on this page, it's going to show you a lot of information. And it's really, it's really cool what's going on back here. In this case, since we've already been working on this, Brian's got 81 views, 67 searches, and his complete activity across Google has been 272. It's down, but we're going to work on it, getting it up soon. It's going to show your posts that are on there. As far as your business profile being complete, I've never seen 100% here. Until you start actually getting into ads with them, I don't think that this is ever going to get to 100%. If you see 85, if you see 70, you're doing good. Just make sure it's not at 30, 40, or 50 or anything like that. This info tab off to the left, when you click on that, this is where you're able to go in and edit all that information I was talking about. And the way that you do that is simply by clicking on the little pencil icon, and you can change things over here. So in his case, Brian's category, his main category, then is his financial planner. And so it's important that you're filling this out completely and making sure that you're in the proper categories, as far as that goes as well too. So the other thing that I wanted to go over was reviews with this. Now, if I go to, let's see if this page actually loads. Before I get to reviews, this is basically if somebody was to search on Google Maps, if somebody was on their phone or whatnot searching for the company, this is on the back end of what Google Maps is going to look like for them. As well, again, it's going to show the reviews and it's going to show all the attributes to the company down here as well. So again, this is another reason why it's important that you're filling all this information out completely. Now, let's get past this. Okay, let's what we're going to do is I'm going to get past this SEO. I know I talked to Brian yesterday about possibly showing this, but I want to get into reviews for a second and why it's so important for reviews. I'm going to go ahead and share a PowerPoint real quick. It's only going to be 3 slides, so don't kill me on this PowerPoint, guys. Let me know if you can see it, if it's up.
Yep.
There.
Yeah, we can see it.
Good.
All right. Beautiful, beautiful. So guys, what I want you to do on this review right here is I want you to imagine that you own a chiropractic. You're a chiropractor. You're in Sunrise, Florida. You're a chiropractor. You've got a 5-star review average, and you've got 57 reviews. You think that your reviews are perfect. I mean, 5 stars, 57 reviews, everything's great. And we're going to get into this in a second. That's your company, though, so remember that for a second. Now, another scenario here, you just moved to Tampa, you're new to the area, you want to, possibly look at some houses. So now you're looking for a realtor. You don't have anybody that you can, call on. So what do? You go into Google, you type in realtor near me. And just like that 3-pack that I showed you before, the next 3-pack shows up over there, okay? And I don't know why my cursor is completely frozen, but we'll get to that in a second. So, you're on your 3-pack. This is what you see here. And guys, can you see the Greater Tampa, Keller Williams, and the Duncan duo?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So out of those 3 there, now you have Greater Tampa, like I said, Keller, and then Duncan. Out of those 3 there, which one of those 3 companies would you call first and why?
Duncan Duo.
Now, Duncan duo. Okay, guys. So about 96 to 98% of people say Duncan duo. And when I ask them why do they say Duncan, is because of the average star rating of 4.8, and because they have 684 reviews. That's huge. And just like it says on the side over there, it's not just the total reviews, it's the average reviews, total reviews, how often you get your reviews. All this stuff is crucial. But this is the key thing. Not only is Duncan getting all these phone calls, but one thing I want to focus in on is if you are Greater Tampa, would you not think that you're killing it with a 4.5 and 128 reviews? You think you're doing great. But the key, though, is how much business are you possibly losing because of your competition like Duncan in the mix? So this is why reviews are so important. Now, my next slide that I'm going to go to, and hopefully Derek goes to a perfect one. Guys, remember, your company, you're a chiropractor in Sunrise, Florida. You think you're killing it with 5-star reviews over there, right? And 57. Again, I'm going to pose that same question to you. Out of those 3 right there, who would you call first? And it's typically Osner out of the bunch right there. And why? Because again, they're authoritative figure, 312 reviews at 5-star. But yet Valentine Family Chiropractic thinks that they're doing a fantastic job. And the reason why I'm showing this is because this is one of my clients right here, and she no longer has 57 reviews. She's over 140 right now. So this is the reason why reviews are so important. When you start getting them, you're going to start noticing your phone ringing off the hook. So guys, if you have any questions, feel free. That's the end of my presentation. Hopefully I was able to answer some questions for you and the importance of why GMB is so important along with review management.
Awesome job, Frank. Any questions? Oh, we got the hands up. We got questions already. Credit card, Rob.
Hey, Frank, so I got a couple questions. So
Sure.
When you set up a Google My Business page, do you need a specific company Gmail account for an email, or can you use any email address?
Beautiful, beautiful question. Thank you for asking that. One thing that I always suggest my clients to do is to create I don't want to say a false Gmail account, but create a Gmail account with a company name that you may not use as a primary account. The reason why is because as you're setting things up, you may need to have a proverbial dummy account to do things, and it does need to be a Gmail account. Yes, to answer that question, you can't do it on Yahoo or whatever, but just create, a Gmail account. It doesn't cost anything. If you can get your hands on ccr@gmail.com, fantastic. Do you have to use it as a primary to give out to your clients? No, but could you use it to set up everything? The other thing is too, is you may get a lot of spam. So that's a good account just to set up that and just push it to the side and just check it every once in a blue moon. But to answer your question, yes, it should be a Gmail account.
All right, follow-up question, Frank. Pictures. So I know the Google My Business, there were pictures at the top right. How do you put pictures there, and can you change them?
Yes. Well, you can put pictures on there. You can upload pictures of yourself, the interior of the building, of your office, exterior. You know, you can put all those pictures on there. You can even upload videos if you choose to. What you don't have control over really is what Google puts in first position. Now, there are tricks to try to get that first position picture in there, but you don't have control on saying, okay, I want this picture to be in position 1, this picture to be 2nd, and so on and so forth. Google just randomly picks those pictures.
Got it. Thank you.
All right, Marty.
And just before you go on, these are the pictures that I uploaded to my Google My Business. So these are the ones that I want people to see. And there was, Frank, I don't know if you got that one taken off. There was a picture of a double wide trailer.
We don't want to see that, hopefully.
Yeah, that's gone. So
Well,
I don't know how that disappeared, but before, if you did Google My Business, it showed up as a double wide trailer in the middle of Florida.
So do you have to
Not
pick,
very inspiring.
do you have to pick those pictures right off the bat when you set up your account?
No, you can add the pictures at any time during the process, just like you can add posts to it, just like you can change anything. You should put up a couple pictures. You can put up your logo. There's spots that specifically say, put your logo here, you know, put your pictures here, things of that nature. But again, there is no rhyme or reason. Google doesn't allow you to say, okay, I want this picture to be in my first position to show up when somebody searches my name. You know, it's hit or miss, unfortunately.
I'm going to go back to what Brian just said, because that was exactly where my question was going. You had the double wide trailer originally on Brian's. When I look at my current Google My Business page for Marty for Medicare, it uses my address and it shows my apartment complex because I'm working out of my house. How can I get that changed? Is there any way? Because Google puts that in automatically.
Correct. When you put up an address in your GMB page to have it as a listing, now you might, I'll double answer that question for you real quick. And so if you want an address, that's great because you're going to get more exposure based upon the area where that address is. So your service is going to show up in a much stronger position based upon that address. If you don't put an address in, you're going to be a very general spread. So that's why it's important to have an address if you're a hyper local small business. If you're a national business, the address isn't as important. You know, it's good to have because of potential local people. But if you're if you spread across the country, don't worry so much about the address. It's not as important as if you were a pool service company, a lawn care company, something that's very local and specific. To answer your question, to get it off, you can't get it off because that pin that shows up there is part of that address and it's part of what Google puts up there. So there is no way without removing your physical address.
What
But they
I
won't let you
did,
set
Marty,
up the Google My Business without giving them the address and having them send you the card to confirm it.
No,
So that-
once you send them the card, you got to put an address to get that card to become verified. But once you've received that card and been verified, you can then convert your business to a service-based business that doesn't allow anybody to come to it, turn off your address, and that's the end of it. The address won't show up
Awesome.
anymore.
Perfect. Thank you. That's what I
You're
needed to hear.
what I did, Marty, is I set up a Regis business account, and I received mail and all that. So that's how I did the workaround.
Real quick to talk to Brian's point on that, guys, do not set up your Google My Business under a PO box. You will get shut down. It will get suspended at some point. Google does not allow PO boxes. Now, the Regis thing where you're using it as a service, in theory, the whole point of the Google My Business page is so that way clients can visit you. That's the whole point of why you have an address in there for, is so people can visit you. Now, whether they do or not, Google doesn't come knocking on your door to say, let me see how many clients you saw last week. They don't do that, but they are very savvy about being slick about some of these desk services and whatnot. So just be careful as far as that goes too.
And just for time considerations, some of the other questions, let's keep them really short.
Perfect.
To the point.
I'll try to answer them fast too.
Okay.
Go ahead, Eric.
And by the way, the other questions, Frank is always available. You can have one-to-one or talk to Frank. Eric?
So Frank, you've seen my Google My Business page. Couldn't Marty do something like I do because he services so many different states? And he could put many different states as his address?
Well, that's the other thing too,
location?
is you can put service locations. You can pick up the whole country, pick up the big cities across the country, start with Maine, go down to Miami, go to Seattle, go to Los Angeles, Alaska, whatever the case might be. And you can also put in other countries as well for service areas too. So that, yeah.
Awesome. Frank, I want to do that too. Joanne?
Yeah, I want to do that too. Is there should we have somebody set it up for us? Like you've done it for my Just Lean Back business, but I haven't done anything with it. Confession.
Yep.
Is there somebody that in the group that could list themselves as somebody
Maybe
that could
Frank.
set us up? Huh?
Maybe Frank.
No.
Frank might be a
Well-
good guy.
Okay, sure.
I recommend
but-
Frank.
And I just posted while you were talking, Frank. I just
Yep.
posted on Brian's a testimonial.
And
I'd
that
like
was
to
an
know-
awesome testimonial, Joanne.
I'd like
Thank
to
you
know
so
what
much.
is a good testimonial. Like, do we load it up with keywords? Like I had financial and mathematical
So-
and warm
Yes, so-
professionalism, all the good stuff and all the truth about Brian.
Correct. No,
Total
guys,
truth.
anytime,
I do not lie.
guys, anytime you get a chance to leave a review for anybody, whether it's one of us or just a restaurant or whatever the case might be, you don't want to lie on that review. So for example, if for example with Brian, if you've never used his services, you're not going to tell on the review that Brian made me millions of dollars and he's the greatest financial planner since sliced
No,
bread. and
I'm
the whole
waiting
nine
for
yards.
that.
Exactly. But until he does that, you don't want to say that in your review. So, but what you could do in your reviews is mention how,
Yeah,
what
I
kind of
did.
work
You can
ethic
read
he
it.
has. Mention the company. If there's a person and you can mention their name, mention their name. If you can figure out a way to weave in the company name, great. The service that they provide, weave in a service. And if it is a service-based business with an area, try to weave in that area as well. If you can put that in a review, it's so much better than just saying, hey, that's a great company. Thank you. 5 stars. The 5 stars is better
Brian,
than nothing.
I should redo it.
And you
No,
can go
I
back
think
in
you
and
did.
redo it if you
I
want
think
to.
it's
It's
great.
your choice.
All
I
right.
think it's great. Thank
Go
you.
ahead, James. Next question.
All right. So Frank, quick question. If they use Brian as an example, Brian has an email list of about 20,000 people, right?
Yep.
If Brian were to send out an email that said, hey, I've got a new Google My Business page. Can you kindly leave me a review? And then we have hundreds of people that are all of a sudden leaving Brian a review.
Yep.
How do you advise people to do that without, what approach would you recommend for someone like him or someone like the rest of us?
Contact me for that service, unfortunately.
There we go.
I hate to say that because we provide that as a service. If you do bombard a bunch of emails all at one time, if you have the way of setting up a drip campaign, that's how we have it set up. We have a service that sets up a drip campaign to where we're only going to email 20 to 30 people a day.
Well, if I could jump in there, there's an art and a science to this, and you can mess it up. And
Yes.
sometimes if you mess it up, you can permanently mess it up. So that's the value of working with a professional, right?
And
Thank
if
you,
you've got a
James.
CRM of lots of people, 500, 1,000, 5,000, 10, yeah, you got to do it the right way. If you've just got
Thanks.
a couple of handful of people, there is, you can just get them directly through Google.
Yeah, cool. So Patricia McDowell, Morella, Michael, super muy pronto.
Thank you so much. And this is fantastic information that you're sharing.
Thank you.
My question is, we're doing this with Google. Some people also use Yahoo. Should we do the same thing for Yahoo and the other browsers that are out there?
Correct. And that was part of that business listings and citations that I was talking about. You need to optimize your Google My Business page first. Once you've optimized your Google My Business page, then you've got to tell the world. And the world is things like Better Business Bureau, Yelp, Yahoo, whatever the case might be, Bing. You want to make sure that you're setting up all these other business listings and citations to mimic Google exactly. So whatever you put in there, for example, if you're putting in your address as street, st dot, make sure when you're setting up Yahoo or Bing or whatever, that you're doing the exact same thing. You're putting st dot.
There's a whole bunch of little gotchas that if you don't get it right, you ain't going to get it right. Again, the value of working with a professional. Same thing that, of course, Marty Silbernick. And you could check the wrong box and end up with the wrong deal, that sort of thing. So Morella, Michael, and then we'll go back to our meeting.
Thank you.
Frank, I posted a video, a very short video last night, and it was not posted. I saw that it is posted. Now, when I go, I'm on my phone. I know it looks different on the web online. Photos, I see my video under photos. When I go to post, I do not see the video I uploaded.
I think that would be a better question to get Frank to.
Yeah, I'll have to see that on the back
And
end.
I've been meaning to call you. Thank you. I'll do that.
Give me a call. I'll take a look at it.
Thank you.
Are you going to be setting up a calendar where we would do it for each other so we don't run into a problem of not being
Correct.
accepted.
Yeah, that was the whole point of why I made that, you know, trying to get everybody's list last Thursday was I'm trying to put something together where we'll be able to schedule it properly. Because again, just like you mentioned, we don't want to get one person to get 5, 6, 10 reviews when they haven't gotten a review in the last 6 months. So we will set something up like that.
That's a great question. And by the way, that will be for our co-founders on the website. We're going to prioritize our lead members and our co-founder members first with that. Thank you, Michael. David?
My question is very simple. After you got started, I kind of got lost. How much is it going to cost me to have you do this for me so that I can have all this stuff done?
Have a one-on-one. Have a one-on-one.
Yeah, have a one-on-one. Jump on me. Just reach out. We'll see where your page is at, and we'll be able to set, you know, figure out what we need to do to set it all up.
Perfect. Outstanding job. Unbelievable. Let's clip the recording.